Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mr. Richard here. Welcome to the Rich Get Richard. And today we have an update. One of the mentees who joined and wanted to expand their business venues and get into ownerships um, completed the process. They came in. We talked about different businesses. We talked about franchise opportunities. We talked about everything under the sun, and they found an opportunity in a franchise. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about it and see if maybe even owning the franchise is something that you wanted to consider and or how you can go about the process afterwards, but see if it's something that you want to get into and we can go from there. All right, Mr. Sadat, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good, Mr. Richard. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
All right, no problem. So let's get into it. Like so you came across this opportunity to purchase this franchise. Tell me a little bit more about the franchise and how you came across it and like the deal and stuff like that.
I've been looking for a business, so that took a while. I came across one, but the deal didn't go through. So then I started thinking about franchise because it's more a structure. So they have franchisor that has your back. So I kind of started looking into that. I had an interview with I want to say about 20 of them. Took It's a long process, but I went through it and finally found one. And this is I call a Blue Moon Estate sale. And they actually were doing the sales at one point of during the interview. So that kind of made me like consider them. So it was a good deal to pass on. So I decided to go that route.
All right, that'll work. So, what out of all of the franchises you probably looked at, like what made you decide to go with them versus like somebody else?
Uh, hmm, Good question. I will say the team that I talk to. So usually you go through a lot of interview. You go through like believe maybe 4 to 5, and then you get to an interview called Discovery Day where you meet the actual team,
Yeah.
the owner, or maybe the president of the brand, the people that actually work there, and the people that you're eventually gonna work with. So meeting those folks kind of seal the deal.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Okay, so like how I know you were saying something too about that because in certain states, certain franchises, they do stuff certain differently, or with you doing that, your franchise deal, you have to you purchase it, but then you pay at the end, or you don't pay it. Like, how does that work? Or can you walk me through that? Or
Yeah, I didn't know that first. We were just going through the process. I decided to go with it and expecting to get the SBA loan to close on it. Then after signing, that's when I found out that actually in Maryland, where I live, the rule here is you do not pay anything until after the training. So normally, what happens is when you sign up or you buy the franchise, now you get to pay the money and then you go through the training, and then after the training, you launch your business. So, but what happened is Maryland, they said that no, you have to go to the training. You only pay after you officially start the business. So right now, I signed up like about a month ago. The training started last week, and I haven't paid a dime. And I'm going to a training for 3 weeks. And it happened that also after my training, they have the annual conference in Dallas. So I will go through that. And then when I come back at the end of October, that's when I'm actually gonna pay for the franchise. So but yeah, I'm a franchisee owner right now, but I haven't paid anything. But another thing that is sweet, and the reason why I choose home, one of the reasons why I choose it is they were having a promotion. So a territory costs about $57,000. So they were having $21,000 off, but also they were financing the remaining at 0% for 30, I believe 32 or 36 months. So $1,000 a month for the next 36 months, whatever is left out of 57. So actually, I technically don't need a loan. Can just own that franchise by putting 3,000 down, and I will be paying $1,000 every month for the next 32 months. Actually, yeah, 32 months.
yeah, that sounds like a good little sweet deal. And a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
was good
times
deal.
people don't even know opportunities out there like this. So that's one thing about this community and networking with like-minded people, going out here and getting deals and talking to franchises and talking to business owners. because you never know what opportunity is going to present itself, but you got to be, in the trenches looking for this type of stuff or hanging around people who are doing this type of stuff because that's how you know that these opportunities are out there. All right. If you wanted to share like your overall experience over this, like how would you describe it?
Um, Overall, is easy, but it was time. It took a lot of time, right? Because I went to a lot of franchise meeting. Um, some of them actually don't return your call, and it's part of life, right? Even though I'm sure people experience that, you reach out to people, and they don't return your call, or they return your call late, or you go through a lot of interview. Like especially like I said, I spoke to about 20 franchise, and it was just brutal. It wasn't really the franchise, but just the process, the way the franchise work is they have to go through at least like three interview, and then they will send you something called FDD, which is I forgot what it's standing for, the kind of space now. It is a document that will tell you about the franchise, whether the profitable, how many people it's been in, since when it's been formed, how the support you, how much you can make, the estimate, and all that. So that's what I've been looking for because going through your class, I learned about how to analyze the deals. But with the franchise, you do not get that in front. Even though they respond to you when you reach out to them, you do not get that. They want you to go through couple meeting, learn about kind of small stuff first before they give you out of the paperwork. So which has the numbers. So I had to go through like each of them, like at least three interviews before I get those documents. So every time it will take me like multiple meetings before I get that. Then I will look at it and I said, no, this is not good. So I kept going through multiple ones. So at one point I was so tired about meeting multiple franchisor to do the 3 round to 4 round before I get the financial to dissect it and see if it was a good deal to me or not.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of
finally, I
crazy.
found one.
It's kind of crazy too because when you're looking at an existing business versus a franchise, it's the opposite. You almost get the financings or the income statement and all that kind of stuff like that on the front end. And then you learn more about the back end stuff, the ownership and the location and the employees on the back end. But a franchise, it seems like it's backwards. You learn
It
about the
is.
company, you learn about the history, you learn about all this kind of stuff. I think they want you to drink the franchise Kool-Aid and kind of like, oh man, get hyped up, and then we'll show you the finances and hope you overlook that stuff. But one thing we learn in this community is, yo, you got to pay attention to the numbers. And if it don't make sense, you got to bounce because if it ain't making no money, you're buying a job and you're buying a headache. You don't want to do that. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's all good, right? So if you want to leave people with one something that you learned on the overall experience and just being in the community. Um, give your opinion about me and the process. And
The process with you was cool. We learned a lot. So we learn about how analyzing any type of business, right? Whether it's a franchise or it's a regular business, and even outside of that, learning about investment, learning about taxes, learning about everything related to business, right? Outside of business. So that one was cool. Um, Related to franchise, I went that route because uh, I had to pull a plug, because we all use OPM. So it took a while to get a business deals, and I was losing time on the money that I was holding, right? So I didn't want to see that gone. So that's why I decided to go the franchise route. But beside that, also learning about franchise, it wasn't as bad as I thought. You get a lot of support. The people there for you to succeed because if you don't, it looks bad on them. So they actually there for you to succeed. So they will provide everything they can for you to succeed. Of course, they're not gonna do the job for you. You're gonna have to do work. It's a little bit different than business because when you start a franchise, you want to learn the in and out of the business. You want to learn everything from A to Z. Eventually, you can be semi owner or you can just be absentee owner. But you want to learn about the business A to Z so that you know where to place people to do the job for you, right? Because I understand all of us, we want to be an absentee owners, but with the franchise, it's a little bit different, or at least the one I choose is a little bit different because this is an estate sale. So I have to learn about how to go find those deals, how to do negotiate that deal, how to stage and all that, and then how to run the sales. Right. So I have to go through the whole process. And eventually now I can hire people, or even though I'm going to be hiring people to work with me, but then I want to hire people that are going to be replacing me, right? So that will going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be straight out of the gate. It may take maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. I understand that, and I decided to do that. So I'm saying that because we all here thinking about buying a business where you just be the owner. But most of the franchise, you're not just gonna be the owner. You're probably gonna work in it for a while, and then you slowly gonna transition out. So that's one thing that I would say people need to keep in mind when they go in the franchise way. Unless you get the one that you can right up out of the gate, be just the owner and now work into the business.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want everybody to really listen and hunker down what he said. You know, when opportunity presents itself, don't never look at the horse. Don't look at that opportunity like, oh wow, I gotta work it. I don't want to do it now, right? There's a lot of opportunity in ownership slash owner operator, right? If you can get a decent amount of income doing the work yourself, there's still opportunity in that. You don't have to necessarily look at something like, oh, I don't want to be there 100%, right? You can still look at it as, well, I'm making just as much, if not more, just working for myself. But there's opportunities in franchises. There's opportunities in pre-existing franchises. There's opportunities in businesses where you're the owner operator. There's absentee businesses, right? So one thing that you will learn, and when you come into this community, is that there are opportunities out there, and we can teach you how to do that, how to find them, how to scale them, how to work them, and use this step as the stepping stone for your financial future. So you want to learn more about these processes, reach out to me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and come learn. One day you can be sitting next to me like Sadat saying, hey, yeah, I came through, I learned, I conquered, and I'm ready to move forward on my next chapter of my life. But thank you, Mr. Sadat, for coming in and giving your experience over the whole thing. We're going to do some Q&A in the mentorship, but you want to learn more about this process, reach out to me and yeah, learn it. Because this is what we do here.
Right. Thank you.